throughout my time here, my family has been repetitively denied. I understand Travis Bloom is an idiot. I understand that, fully understand that. He holds a good heart.
Fabricating fictitious government you ever seen.
My little brother used to run to mother and say, "Mom, BB hit me." BB was my sister. He used to say, "BB hit me." Mom would say, "Well, my lovely young man, where are the marks to prove such?" Well, my mom, show me the marks. He could not show any marks. Mother would say, "I can't tell where the marks are." True story.
And the evidence is going to show that law enforcement tampered with evidence to meet their such high burden of proof.
While I'm waiting for this, did you, whether it's true or not, believe that Mr. Randolph had slept with your wife?
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't have cared?
No.
Did you believe he had slept with your wife?
No.
Did you believe he slept with your mother-in-law?
Probably did. Everybody has.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
Said that.
Everybody has.
Oh, okay.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are, and what, if any, you might be, and welcome to a little fun-sized political thing. As some of you might know, I used to play politics. Yes, another stolen valor story. I used to be in politics, and one of the things I learned in politics is you better have your knife ready because you have to stab your friends and your enemies in the back to get ahead. Most people will intentionally not cover the Perkins thing because Perkins is polling at 2% compared to 96% for Adam Deitch, and she wants a bump from this negative attention. Transmit Ellis, do you know what they say about the press? That don't spoil it in the headlines. I used to be in politics, and when this DA race started, I said, I want someone who is willing to kick in doors, throw out people, and let the sunshine into the Norfolk DA's office. I was then schooled that I knew nothing about politics. I hadn't run successful campaigns. I wouldn't say that. I got 5 people elected on a shoestring budget for a very small party that didn't have that much to go for it. I did run for national government as well. Didn't get elected, but I did get like 500 votes or something. Pretty good for someone who didn't have that much money. But I did spend a lot of time in politics. I have run in 4 city council elections. I've been elected once. I spent 4 years in city council. Just for all the idiots who will fact check me now and say, well, you did, and I found this paper that says something. But I did serve my city council tour, and that was wonderful. But I also played a little bit of, I was the chairman of our local part of the party. So I went to all the bigwig meetings, and I spent a lot of time getting to know how to do the politics you do. And that's why when the Norfolk DA came up and I said, no matter who you get, there was Djuna Perkins, there was, I can't even remember the last 2 who was up there. they were just placeholder names, in my opinion. Djuna Perkins was the only one who kind of showed that she had some life in her because she went on a competitor's channel and gave you the good old hope and change speech, which is so famous. You have all voted for politicians who have promised you if you just waste your vote on them, they will do everything exactly the opposite way of how it's done now. But they have never really told you how they would do it. And that's why I didn't like Djuna Perkins when I saw it. Hey, Cousin G. Hey, Krista, you're back again. You've been away from a while. But I didn't like her personally. I saw a placeholder candidate, most likely to hold the spot till the DA's office could find someone to be Morrissey's man. Morrissey's man has now been on the stage. So now we are entering the stage where Djuna Perkins is going to be the hitman. And why do I say that? Because the DA's man can't get his fingers dirty right now. The DA's office is very unpopular. It has a lot of negative press around them. Is it the sentiment in Norfolk County? I don't know. I don't live there, neither do my competitor. But there's probably some of you who might live in Norfolk who kind of know what's the boss on the street. But the DA and the power to be the guys who elect them for the party, and it has nothing to do with it being the Democrat Party. I bet you right now in a very red state, exactly the same thing is happening where the Republicans are also nominating another candidate who will do exactly the same bullshit they did in Norfolk County. This has nothing to do with politics. It has everything to do with power. So the first comment was, well, it's another Democrat. Well, it doesn't matter. You're not going to get elected if you're not a Democrat in Massachusetts. You're not going to get elected if you're not a Republican in some other state. You have to play the game. But you have to look at who do the party want, because the party is absolutely fine with how the DA's office has run for the last 25 years. They have had no problem. My eyes are so blue today. Well, it's probably because I got some sleep. But they have been absolutely fine. They just want a new Morrissey, a guy who shuts up, moves along, gets along, doesn't shake the boat. They have now had a DA candidate come out of the DA's office who will then work with Tully, work with the rest of them, and keep everything rolling. That's why we are now going to go to the first character assassination attempt on Adam Deitch. Remember, Adam Deitch is a former Fed who was connected to the Fed's investigation in the Karen Reed case, who came in and said, I've seen how the Norfolk DA works. I don't like what I see. We need to do change. And they don't want to hear that. Oh, T-Rex, been a while. How's my shoulder? My shoulder is better. My ankle is really bad. It felt like something shifted in it. So I have it taped up and hope it's just swelling. But today in a paper that I have never heard anyone share before. And again, let's go back to politics, because this is going to be a politics heavy. This isn't going to be, we're going to see a clip of Mr. Cousin G and his new cool hat. No, we're going to talk politics. In politics, you will send out these little attempts to see, okay, will this get traction? The apparatus knows every journalist. Take Sue from Boston. Sue from Boston is a very, very biased political commentator. Anything you want out there that is anti-Trump, you can call Sue and she will make a story on it, because Sue from Boston hates Donald Trump. No matter if it's tariffs or it's the weather, he can find a way to blame Trump. Everyone knows that. So if you want to sell a story anti-Trump, you get Sue from Boston. But sometimes you want to sell a story and see, is this an angle we can keep a continuing attack going with? And you will find that little mom and pop shop publication. Hey, let's be honest, that's what they did with Karen Reed. They found a local blogger, journalist, media, and said, let us try and see if we can build up some momentum. And because they chose a really good local journalist, it became an international sensation. But they will try this to kind of chum the water and see, will the sharks bite? And this is what I gather from what I've seen today. Mike hates Deitch. Well, he has been really happy for Dwan because she came on his show and gave him the good old talk that politicians will do. Well, I will do something different. Go back and look at everything Obama promised you. Obama was a great president. He had so much momentum coming in to all of this. But he never gave you any concrete promises. It was just hope and change, hope and change, hope and change. And it's kind of becoming a meme in the political world that you just oversell all the imagination things that you can get, never really telling you how you're going to get it. And that's, I think, will sadly become a part of Obama's legacy, that the expectations were so high because he was such a great candidate. But politics doesn't care about candidates. Politics are run in back offices by people who will stab each other in the back. But let's get into this and why I think this is a hit piece, and I think this is an attempt to smear Adam Deitch to see if we can get some traction with this. I didn't watch any of Mike's coverage. I know he has done some coverage of it. I can see that Betty says, I watched a bit of his live. He hates Adam Deitch. So I don't know what his take is. I will give you my take. I don't live in Norfolk County. I have never done politics in America, but I do have a very long history of doing Danish politics. And in the end, it's assholes trying to cheat you out of your vote to get power all over the globe. So it's not that different, no matter what people who is not in Norfolk County will tell you when they tell you you can't cover Norfolk County. But this is from the Franklin Observer. I don't know this newspaper, so I read the article, found it interesting, and thought, I can do a bit about this. With longtime incumbent DA Morrissey finally out of the picture, the candidates to replace him has begun to tussle. If I can put my glasses on, I can read it. Friday, Norfolk County District Attorney candidate Djuna Perkins announced that she had filed complaints that with the Massachusetts Office of Campaign and Political Finance and the Massachusetts State Ethics Committees after another candidate improbably used public email for campaign purposes. Oh my. You live in Franklin. Is it a big paper? Is it a small paper? Is it something everyone reads? I don't know it. But what I just said, what did you hear? Did you hear that Adam Deitch has used public emails for campaign purposes? To me, when I read that, I said, so he sent emails from his Department of Justice email? That seems kind of dumb. Candidates should know better, right? Am I interpreting that wrong? That is what it is. That the allegations, as you read it there, is, oh, Adam Deitch is he's using his government email to try and give it a little more weight. That's not fair. You're not allowed to do that as a candidate. There's established precedent on that. But because there's always a but, and most of us sits on it. And now Sorry, I'm back in an old program, so I have to remember what buttons to push. It's this button. In response, Andrew DiStefano from the Deitch campaign said, as a federal prosecutor, Adam is committed to strict compliance with any and all rules and law governing political campaigns and looks forward to continue his conversation with voters and community leaders across Norfolk County. This is a disappointing move from a candidate who appears to be desperate for attention. Okay. Okay. That's a standard, well, we didn't do anything wrong. The other side is just trying to make a kerfuffle out of nothing. That's what you would say even if you had done something wrong. Then we go on to say, Perkins said she took her action after hearing from over a dozen public employees from 9 cities and towns in Norfolk County that DA candidate Adam Deitch had twice sent political emails to their government email accounts. Oh, so he didn't use his government emails. It's they received emails that was linked to their work in the government. That kind of changes the story, in my opinion. The scale of this outreach makes it clear that this was not accidental, she said, but a campaign strategy to solicit public employees at their taxpayer-funded workplaces. Ethic rules prevent public employees from engaging in political activity, especially fundraising, using public resources. The rub? Any employee who replied to Deitch's email would be in violation of these rules. That's going to be interesting because, again, they received emails. They didn't send any emails. That's a big difference than him using government emails to try and give a shine of, oh, I'm this government-backed candidate. But let's continue. Perkins said it's disappointing that in a campaign centered on reforming a broken Norfolk County DA's office, Adam Deitch has chosen to violate a well-known regulation. We will come back to what the precedent is on the area. The prohibited use of government email address for political purposes. Again, this reads, in my opinion, and with my limited known English, as he used a government email to contact people. Remember, I'm going to go back to the case law, or not the case law, the precedents that has happened before. As a lawyer and former public employee himself, he should know better. And he most likely does, because, again, he has not used his public or his government email to do anything. He continued, now more than ever, Norfolk County residents need a district attorney with integrity. Residents need to know that the law will be enforced equally across the board because no one is above the law, including other candidates for DA. That sounds nice. I am tough on crime. That's what every DA will tell you in a DA race. Excerpt from the email makes it clear that public employees received them unsolicited. The second email includes blatant reference to campaign fundraising. I promise not to inundate your inbox with junk, but I do very much value what each of you does every day and the relationship I hope to build with you over the course of 2026 and beyond. And to be sure, while dollars don't vote, you all know better than most that campaigns need resources and infrastructure to win, especially in a county-wide race. So oh my. He broke all the ethic rules. He is such a bad boy. You need Djuna Perkins, the pillar of trustworthiness, the pillar of change you can believe in, and who absolutely didn't do this. So one local paper got special access to sell this story, and people who don't like Adam Deitch because he will rock the boat too much can sit out there and say, well, he's not allowed to do that. And that's wrong. and he's a bad boy. But there's a problem. There's nothing in this that claims that Deitch used any government email to send any of their messages. There's no mention that he sent this in any other way than from his campaign email. So there's nothing tied in, which they try to allude to by not being too accurate, that, oh, he has used his governmental access, which is, as someone said, the Hatch Act if it's on a government level. The only thing is, a number of government emails have been hit. I don't know if you have ever had an unsolicited email sent to you in a campaign. I know it's a thing with all the cold calls and all that bullshit. In Denmark, it wasn't a thing. Now it's become a thing where they'll come knock on your door and says, hey, do you know I'm running for candidate? And I will always say, you knocked on my door, I will never vote for you because I don't want you at my doorstep. Because I don't want people to annoy me. So what it seems like is the campaign just blanketed a ton of emails out there begging for money, as politicians do. She claims this is improper use of public resources for political purpose because there's ethic rules that prohibited public employees from engaging in certain political activities on public time or using public resources. But no one did that here. Only if they read the email, yeah, you could say they did it on public time. That's not on Adam Deitch. So that could put the people who received it in violation. But this is also a gray area because there is no regulation in Massachusetts whatsoever that I have been able to find that prohibits candidates to send it to official addresses. So all the violations that could have happened is on the employee who received the email, which kind of takes it out of that entire article. I'm an idiot in Denmark who uses Google and Grok and ChatGPT to do my research and go around, because then you can confirm if every three gets you hits and are kind of the same. It's probably kind of accurate. Why didn't the reporter on Franklin Observer put that in there? The complaint is he used personal email, isn't it? No, the complaint is he abused government resources because government employees received an email. And there is no precedent, there's no ethical violations in any of this. The only way this can become a problem is if anyone wants to file ethic complaints against the people who received the email. And they said, oh, let me send this on, because you're not allowed to send an email for campaign purposes in your capacity as a DA or a dog catcher. You cannot use your .ma or .gov or whatever. If it's on the government level, it's the Hatch Act. This is a local Massachusetts ethics complaint. But again, unless you want this to smell like shit, there's nothing in this article when you look at it. If you do your due diligence, instead of being first, check but verify. Even if you are a Djuna Perkins sycophant, maybe just check up on it. But this is the first attempt of, I don't know if we should call it campaign tactics or already just call it a smear campaign, because this is on the recipient, not the person who sent it. There is no evidence of any violation of ethics by Adam Deitch. We don't know, hey, it's Massachusetts. They will fuck over whoever they can if they will try and make a case out of this. But there is nothing. There is no precedent ever that this has happened before. There's no clear public precedent in Massachusetts where candidates or campaign has ever faced consequences, fines, penalties, reprimands, or anything, specifically for sending unsolicited political or campaign emails to any public employees. There is no precedent. So for them to go out there and try this trick, especially when they put it in, and I don't know if the Franklin Observer is a big or small newspaper. To me, it looks kind of like more of a local paper. That's why you put it there, to see if this can get some traction. I'm sure his campaign brought an email this somewhere. It's pretty common. Yeah, of course they did. And they just... I'm sure that the Krusty Panties even got an email. Emails has a paper trail and easy to trail. They don't need it. They don't need to trace anything. There's nothing untowards in sending an email to the local dog catcher saying, hey, I'm running for DA. If he then sends it on and says, hey, have you seen this guy Perkins? I think you should vote for him. He would be in violation because he's not allowed to use his government email address for political purposes. Sending an email to Maureen Healy, I think is the governor, is not an ethical violation of anything. Saying, hey, I'm running for DA in Norfolk County, that would not be a violation. If she then used her .gov or .org or .ma or whatever her is to say, I think you all should go and give money to Adam Deitch, she would be in an ethics violation. So again, this is why I say all of this is the first attempt to paint Adam Deitch as an asshole, because Adam is dangerous. Adam is the man that they don't want. And I'm pretty sure anyone who can look at this, who has a long history of doing campaigns, and I'm way smarter than you, can see it for what it is. This is a smear job put in a local paper for the placeholder instead of the guy that they are really going to back. Because that weirdo from the DA's office will be the one they will be batting for. It's not going to be Djuna Perkins. She will be left at the wayside. She will be there to do all the shit smearing, and then he can come in and smell like roses if they can make Adam look unelectable. Yes, Djuna Perkins is a woman. Yes. But the guy from the DA's office is a guy. I can't remember his name. But I found it interesting that that this came out there. That's that this, first of all, was sent out here by Djuna Perkins. And again, it was put in a paper who, I don't know if I can see it. I can't see. It started in June 2021, daily local online newspaper. I can't. There's no number associated with it, how many people reads them. So I don't know what, if any, number of people know this. Thank you, Michael Drops. Are these folks primary opponents? Yes. Daisy, the corgi's mom. Djuna Perkins was the lady who was the clear candidate to begin with. 3 people announced that they were running she was kind of the only one who did anything. She went on the Mike's show and she was out there. She had a little bit of traction. Then Adam Deitch came out, and because he had been in the Department of Justice and had worked on the Free Karen Read case, a lot of us YouTube fools who have been covering the Karen Read case looked at him and saw when he said, "We need to clean house." We believed him. If you listen to Djuna Perkins or watch her website, come on, I had it just before. I have looked at this one before. First of all, this is really bad font work. Democrat for district attorney. They are all Democrats. I'm officially declaring my candidacy for Norfolk County's district attorney. With a stroke of a pen, the DA attorney can change a family's life forever. The person entrusted with this tremendous power to decide on what and whom to prosecute must be someone with the highest level of skill, judgment, and integrity. 30 years ago, I chose a career in law to rectify the injustices I saw around me and to fight for those whose voices might otherwise be ignored. My legal career, including 10 years serving as an assistant DA and assistant attorney general and 20 in private practice, has led me to the belief that current leadership in the district attorney's office has failed its residents. Norfolk County must do better. Every resident deserves to feel safe, to be treated fairly, and to trust that no one is above the law. The damage to the justice system and the safety of our communities caused by mistrust of the current DA is devastating. I never envisioned running for public office, but in the current climate, I cannot stand by and do nothing. I'm doing it for the children. My life's work in the courtroom, in schools and colleges, and in the workplaces has involved holding offenders accountable for some of the worst acts human beings can commit, while also ensuring a fair process that results in smart, just outcomes that are trusted by the community and improve safety. The depth and breadth of my experience give me the unique ability to substantially reform and rebuild a critically damaged government agency. As a DA, I will demand excellence and the highest ethical standards. Prosecutions will be driven by a dogged determination to find the truth. With respect for due process and an open mind free of bias, fear, or favor, I will aggressively prosecute those who prey on or cause harm to others, and I will use all available tools to achieve justice, prevent recidivism, and break cycles of incarceration, addiction, and poverty. I will build collaborative relationships between the DA's attorney's office and every community in Norfolk County to enhance public safety and restore the public's trust in our criminal justice system. You cannot be more boilerplate than this woman. This is someone who wanted to run for DA and got some firm who gets people elected and tell them, hey, give me some boilerplate website. I'm running for DA. Do something about Norfolk because Morrissey looks bad. There's nothing in that gives me any confidence that she will do anything different. A prosecutor, not a politician. Meet Adam Deitch. I'm running for DA because I believe Norfolk County deserves a DA's office defined by fairness, competence, trust, and professionalism. Until November, I served as a federal prosecutor in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Boston, where I handled bank robberies, guns and drug cases, child exploitation, cyberstalking, and all kinds of fraud. I then focused on investigating and prosecuting corruption cases across Massachusetts, including right here in Norfolk County. Read more. I will. Adam is running for DA because he believed Norfolk County deserved a DA's office defined by fairness, competence, trust, and professionalism. Again, boilerplate politician speak. Until November, Adam served as a federal prosecutor in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Boston, initially handling cases ranging from bank robberies to gun and drug cases, to child exploitation and cyberstalking and all kinds of fraud. As a member of the Public Corruption and Special Prosecutions Unit, Adam focused on corruption cases through Massachusetts. And I really like that he highlighted that part, including the prosecution of driving school instructors who were paying bribes in exchange for no-show driver's licenses. That was a really big case. Monica Cannon grant for defrauding donors to her nonprofit organization and stealing government benefits, and Massachusetts state police troopers for stealing overtime pay. All of this is problems that are real. All of this are real problems that all of us have heard about. He is specific with cases we have all heard about. He left the blah, blah, blah. Here in Norfolk County, Adam worked to win convictions in the recent state police CDL bribery scandal in Stoughton, where troopers entrusted to administer road tests for commercial driver's licenses, applicants were providing licenses to drivers who actually failed or never took a road test and who traded bribes for CDLs. As has been publicly reported, Adam also served as the lead assistant U.S. attorney in the federal investigation into the death of Boston police officer John O'Keefe and the ensuing state investigation and prosecution of Karen Reed. Oh, why don't they like him as a candidate? Politicians speak. As a prosecutor and after starting his career defending NYPD officers in federal court, Adam has been proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with outstanding, hardworking members of federal, state, and local law enforcement, but he also knows what can happen when members of law enforcement don't live up to their expectations. This, to me, is a guy who will try and change it. And this is why we have now entered the first step in smearing Adam Deitch. Thank you so much, Christopher. 14 months. Thank you for being you. Oh, that's all. And the Traveler. Thank you so much for becoming a YouTube member. Ember. I can't do that right now. My shoulder and arms are killing me today, so it's weird. I just cannot get over Mike does not want him to clean up Norfolk County. Mike definitely isn't on the right side of things. Mike is butthurt. I'm sorry to say it. I saw someone claim that we are all very jealous of Mike and Brian and the car crew. Except Brian, who had a magical month of 5,000 subscribers all out of the blue. Congratulations. It's always nice when you have these massive blow-ups. The rest of them aren't really doing that well. And Mike has consistently gone into fights over this, which is stupid. Because what candidate is supporting what Mike allegedly had been fighting for 3 years? Adam Deitch. But Mike can't stand a rejection. And Adam Deitch hasn't responded. Full disclosure, I have reached out to Adam Deitch as well. He hasn't responded to me either. Maybe because I'm a 7-string YouTube channel in Denmark. Maybe because he doesn't do YouTube shows. Maybe because you want to go on something bigger. But that doesn't make me like him less because I read what he writes. He's giving me the highlight I want in a DA candidate. And I don't live in Massachusetts. But I still can tell you what's wrong in Massachusetts. It's the political good old boy system. Janino, 21 months. Time flies when we're having fun. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? The candidate registration period closes in a couple of days where I live, and it's going to be interesting. Yes, and this is why everyone is always up in arms when, it's going to be Clinton versus Kerry. Oh, I can't remember who Clinton ran against. Oh, president is so important. No, this is what is important. Of course, president is important as well, but this is the DA's office. This is where you who sits in Norfolk County right now, can make a change. This is where your shoes on the street can make a difference. Because the system doesn't want Adam Deitch. Because the system has been perfectly fine with Michael Morrissey. Morrissey only leaves because they fucked up and indicted the wrong woman. If Karen Reed would just have done what they had hoped for, Michael Morrissey would have run unopposed in a new election cycle. And everyone would have voted for him because he's so great. Did you know he got John O'Keefe's murderer behind bars? He pled guilty. It was manslaughter, but still she pled guilty to it. Wasn't that amazing? But Karen Reed said, F all of you. And you said, there's something going on here that I don't like. This isn't right. Then Delgado Garcia died at the MSP barracks. And people said, what's happening here? Then we found out that a high-ranking trooper apparently stole photographs of victims in cases in undressed state. Was he the only one who saw these pictures? Who also apparently had racial animosities towards people of a different color. And we said, how has this guy have so much power for so long? And all of a sudden, oh, no one knew he was a racist, sexist asshole? Then you had Kelsey Fitzsimmons. And you start thinking, how can Massachusetts be led this bad? I know not all of those are Norfolk. And then you have probably the worst case in the end of all of them, Sandra Birchmore. Sandra Birchmore, where the Norfolk County DA's office still believe that this young woman who have been abused by multiple police officers, who was impregnated maybe by a police officer. The rumor is that the DNA didn't line up the way it should have lined up, but still, this woman who had told everyone how happy she was going to have a baby, how much she couldn't wait to have this baby, who was spending her day preparing for this baby. And then she had a visit from one of the deviants who had abused her, a deviant who said, I wish we had done it when you were 14. And the Norfolk County DA's office still hasn't charged anyone. They still believe after he left the building, went back to his wife's side and said hello to a new baby. He went to a closet. That's why you know Djuna Perkins isn't the right person. That's why you know, and I'm sorry I can't remember that DA office worker that they have set out there to be the next head of the table. Thank you, Trouble. You can't get rid of me. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for being here. And no, I had that one. Thank you so much, all of you. But this is why you see this article today. They don't want you to think about any of that. They want you to be angry at Adam Deitch. Even hearing Sandra's name feels like a kick in the stomach. Yes, I had a thing with one of my kids today where, because you have kids and that gets emotional and stuff like that. And that gets to you. And then you're looking at this young woman who was just starting her life. I just had a grandson who's just the best little kid. And you're thinking of not only about the poor girl who was abused by these assholes, but also about the life that never was. That's what makes it hard to be a true crime channel. Because you can mirror stuff like that. When my daughter was pregnant, when the Sandra Birdsmore thing started to happen, and I had Missy on and we talked about it, you get those thoughts. I'm not, don't take this as any, abortion happens every day and anything like that. Has nothing to do with this. This was a kid that was expected. This was a kid that was looked forward to. This was a life that could have been, that would have had love, that would have had a mom who would do the best she could for this kid. And not only was the mom robbed of her life, but so was this little kid. Greg Connor is the guy. Thank you, J7. Yeah, he's just faceless bureaucrat number 7 or 8 or 9. And the DA's office still hasn't done anything about it. That's how can you live with yourself covering for a man like that? How can you see through, what was it, 32,000 emails and say, no, there's no indication of anything going on here? How can that bastard, maybe J7 remembers that name as well, that police officer who became a lawyer who just had his hearing, who sat there and said, well, she came on to me. We have a Danish stand-up comedian who does a bit about men like him. And he says, if you look at a 14-year-old girl, the only thought that must ever enter your head is, maybe she wants some more cake. I'm going to buy her a cake. Nothing else should enter your mind. He's effing Robert Devine. Thank you, Jody. These assholes took a poor woman, well, she was a girl at that time, who came from an unstable environment, who was trusted to these assholes to give her stability, to give her some male guidance, some father figures. What did they do? They groomed her ass. And what do the DA's office do? I read both of the descriptions of why they want to run for DA. Who do you trust to do anything about it? Who do you trust to go in and say, we're going to check all the I's and dot all the T's? That's, yeah. A 14-year-old doesn't have the legal ability to consent. These cops are the worst human trash. Again, it has nothing to do with her age. She was entrusted to them. She was entrusted to be a cadet, learn, grow, secure. And these guys, they saw it as a candy shop. And I will never be able to prove any of it. But she is not alone. She is not alone. Other people out there has been through the same system, and these predators have done it to more than one. They were pulling her from the Kids Club Scout program with police. It's evil. Exactly. This is just as evil as all these horrible women who bangs all of their students. And then they sit and cry and say, if you're entrusted with kids, Well, they were 16 years old, and what guy? Because these were kind of good-looking women. Fuck off. I hate that women get less sentencing for those kind of cases than if a guy had done it. That's one thing. But second of all, that you're victim blaming the young men. Yeah, young men are very, very focused on their peen. It doesn't make it all right. These people should be in the stockades on the town square every Saturday, so you could go by and call them what they are. Instead, they get slaps on the wrist because, well, I had a hot teacher once. That's just as horrible. You are given a special access to these kids. You have been entrusted with these kids, and you have abused that trust. That's why I want an Adam Deitch. I do not want a Djuna Perkins who will give me a run-of-the-mill politician. Oh, we need to change stuff. And I have worked with this. Adam Deitch points his finger at specific problems that's been with the MSP. This article, no matter if you go to the competition and watches his take on it, where he will tell you, oh, yeah, he probably did done something wrong because he doesn't like Adam Deitch because he didn't respond to an email. How could he? This is political. This is nothing than the first attempt on a smear campaign. If this gets traction, let's say that, I don't know if he's even going to cover it, but I'm just throwing it out. I think Aiden has sex club tonight. Isn't it Saturday he has sex club? Tonight at sex club, he will go in there and he will say, well, Adam Deitch clearly is a despicable human being who broke all the laws. They will, tomorrow you will see it everywhere. Because if they can get it rolling in the press, they will get it in Boston 25 or whatever else. This is... In Denmark, we would use a word that's the same use for a suppository. It's where you just put in a little pill and see how it spreads. Where you try and plant a story in the news and see, okay, does this have legs? No, it became nothing. Then you'll try something else. Then you'll try something else. And when that sticks, you will go full hardcore and you would go out there and, oh, how could he ever? I don't think this story have any legs to stand on because he didn't abuse any government emails. This is a pure political hit job. And I have no special insights. Djuna Perkins never came on my show. I hate her. No. Djuna Perkins will be the bulldog. And sorry, J7, I already forgot his name again. Faceless bureaucrat number 10 from the DA's office. Connor. Was it Connor? I'm sorry. I can't remember. He's faceless bureaucrat number 10 now. Faceless bureaucrat number 10 will then stand in the back and say, oh, look at these two people fighting. This is Greg Connor. Thank you, J7. Can we call him faceless bureaucrat? That's way easier because he will have no personality. He will be a blank slate because he is the one they want. He will stand back and he will point to them and say, oh, look how they are fighting. They are not there to do the important things. Law and order. You tough on crime. You FB10. His name will be FB10. Now, until I forget that the next time. But this is the tactic you will see from now on. I will bet Mr. Cossey's left Velcro shoe that this is the tactic they will use. Djuna Perkins will be the bulldog that will try and put every single attack out there. And then FB10 will be the one that'll come in late and say, well, we have to try and build together. We can't look how these are fighting. And no, this has nothing to do with her not being front runner anymore. again, this is because she is the attack dog. She is the one, because she can get dirty fingers. Her not being elected to DA doesn't change anything for her. She'll go back into private practice. The DA's office will, of course, throw her a bone now and again. Not too obvious, but it is Massachusetts. And she will be thanked that way. FB10 will be the guy that they want. But they need someone to sling the mud, because when you're slinging mud, you get dirty hands. And they have Djuna Perkins, who was a no-go from the beginning, who is boilerplate. I'm a politician. I just want to be DA because I can say I'm a DA. Perkins thinks because she's a woman that gives her special bonus points. There was one other who was really into talking about how much outreach they have done with children as well. That's not where I thought he was going with that left. Huh? Heard Mr. Special Prosecutor had string shoes on the other day. That's why he was so late. Don't bargain with funnies you can't get, Baker. Actually, what's your address? I'll send it along. Well, it'll probably be a local who win it anyway, so just keep it and we can ship it out. Thank you, Big Earl. I'm trying to, again, do I know local politics in Norfolk County? Absolutely not. Is Norfolk County Nirvana? No, because that was a bad grunge group in Seattle. And it's also a heavenly place if you are Hindu or Buddhist. I don't know. I can't remember. Politics is politics. No matter where you are in the Western world, it's done the same way. In back rooms and by stabbing your friends in the back. This is a political smear campaign. It oversells what has happened because there is no established precedent that it's not legal to send an email to a government account. The problem is if a government account sends an email and runs a campaign that way. Let's say Cossie G, now he's a special prosecutor, says, I want to run for dog catcher. He then uses his special prosecutor email address. That is illegal. Ethical violation. It's the same as the Hatch Act in Senate and Congress. And if you work for the president. You cannot use your government email to run a campaign, but there is no precedent anywhere, ethical or anywhere established in Massachusetts that I can find that says you are not allowed to send an email, no matter if it's fundraising, and every political email is a fundraising email, to a government address. So this is the first attempt to try and stab Adam Deitch in the back because they are afraid of him. So if you're local, one in chat if you're local, and you can vote in the Norfolk District Attorney's race, I would recommend, and again, I don't live there, don't listen to me, do your own research. I would recommend Adam Deitch because when I read him on his webpage, he's specific about what has been wrong. If you have the time, maybe consider, can I help in some way with the campaign? Can I go around, give out some flyers for him? Can I spend 5 minutes standing at the local Piggly Wiggly and said, have you heard about Adam Deitch? And more importantly, when you're sitting at the waterfall tonight and the band is playing, no one will ever know what the band is playing. And the pepperoni pizza is under the heating lamp and no one knows where the pepperoni pizza goes. And you're having your Tito and water. Maybe you're sitting next to that guy and he said, hey, little lady, Did it hurt? What? Yeah, when you fall from heaven because you look like an angel. And you maybe try and sober him up by talking about the coming DA's election and how you probably should vote for Adam Deitch. Talk about it, spread the word, and try and get some boots on the ground for this guy. I'm an idiot on the interwebs. Will the Glarer is an idiot on the interwebs. Aiden Carney is an idiot on the interwebs. Mike Jerks is an idiot on the internet. We can sit here and talk to you, but I can't do any of that. I can just make a YouTube presentation and get a couple of hundred people to watch it. But you can make a difference. And you need to make a difference. Because only by making a difference can you make change. Don't believe the politicians who will just say, hope and change, hope and change. Adam Deitch points to specific problems that has been with the DA's office. I trust that way more than someone talking about, well, we have to restore trust. Can't vote in Bristol County. Well, I don't know any of the county's towns. I just know none of them are pronounced as they're spelled. He sounds nice. Is he single? The guy at the waterfall bar, he doesn't care. I'm not against Deitch. I just need them to announce Q&A sessions, not after the fact, before. Give all. I've seen he has done, I follow him on the Twit, and I've seen he goes out and do public events, and he will do the local Y, and he will do the local United Knitters and Hookers convention. Hookers are when you do crochet. Stop being so dirty-minded. We're talking politics here. And he will go out and do those. Maybe you can attend one of those. And that is one thing that, Djuna Perkins is out there talking to people. Adam Deitch is nowhere. Well, he's out there now too. But he probably needs some ground game. And I think one of the underutilized things in these, sometimes hearing from the outside is better. Outsiders see some of what insiders don't see. Nee Taylor, when people tell you you can't have an opinion, you're not from Boston, you should always discredit their opinion because Boston isn't special. And I can obtain information just as well as you can. People who will gatekeep, who can talk about Boston, are the ones you should never listen to about Boston. Because, as you said it, a fresh pair of eyes see all the little grimy spots in the corner. Just remember the last time your mom visited your apartment. She saw that spider web that you hadn't seen. The instant she walked in, because a fresh pair of eyes and a judgmental mom will see that instantly. So don't listen to all of these people who will tell you you can't have an opinion. I can follow Adam Deitch. I can see the shit going on in Massachusetts. And I can feel with my own reasoning what is the best for Massachusetts. This is my opinion. I can't vote there. Take my shit, put it together with other shit, and make your own opinion. I'm not telling anyone how to vote. I'm just saying I would vote for Adam Deitch. I think her mind is right where it needs to be speaking on political issues. Ask Perkins that was an ADA, what cases he tried and how it went. Ask them all about it. Watch how they practice law, YouTube and other government channels. Yeah. Hey, Malin. I agree. I live in Rhode Island. Adam grew up around the corner. Yes, and that's again. I don't know the guy. He didn't want to come on my channel either, and he should. I'm a nice fella. We can talk about Lego. And then we can talk about crime. I think he sounds right, he feels right, he looks right, in my opinion. Juan Perkins, I'm sorry, he looks like a cookie cutter candidate. One of those you get in early to try and just throw some things at the wall, see what sticks, and then you get FB10 to come in, and he can then try and run unopposed. I don't even know, is there numbers out there for PA Norfolk Gray polls? Nope. No, I can't see any polls. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Politico. I can't see any up-to-date numbers. Maybe there are some local. Yes, Lego tonight on Valhalla and Dave's channel. Jimmy will be joining them for a Lego build and interview. If you have never been to MLS, Dave, or Valhalla before, Valhalla was my co-host during the Karen Reed cases, and Dave is the guy who got me to speak English on the interwebs and made me change from being a politics channel to go into being more of a true crime, and lately an idiot at night channel. So both of them are good eggs. If you watched my Friday Night Live yesterday, that was Dave MLS that was on with us. And they're having Jimmy on tonight where they will be building Lego. And I don't know what time it is, but I know I will be sleeping because it's normally 8 or 9 o'clock Eastern. They're not polling yet other than internally. Thank you so much. Danish Will Shady. I'm not in Boston. I don't know Eminem. I don't have the shady hat. I can't put on the shady hat. You have to go, Percy, set up a stream and put the shady hat on. But I just wanted to go live and give you a Danish look on this article because I saw the competition that I'm very jealous on had his take on it. I don't know what his take is. My guess is, oh my, how could he do it? Oh, he's not a good guy. This is a big old problem. Djuna Perkins was right. Oh my God. And then probably something about Aiden and Will and big money. Remember, he's having Young Black Economist on to talk about money, who I talk about incessantly because I am very, very sexually attracted to her, is what I could read in that screenshot someone took. I think it was Cossie who shared that. The woman I blocked 2 years ago because he was trying to start a lot of racist shit. No, that was during Karen Reed 1, where she called me and Valhalla white privileged guys. Well, we are not economists. We are the idiots who stood in a war zone. Well, I didn't. That was fake valor for 374 days. And yeah, but Valhalla did. He did get blown up twice. That was his white privilege. But yeah, I incessantly think about that woman. And she's now going to be on Mike's show and talk about money because that's what Mike likes more than anything. Big money Mike. So please remember to hide your super chats and go over and give them to Big Money Mike. How's my shoulder feeling? I got more mobility in it today, so it's good. But I have my ankle taped up because that doesn't feel too good today. So, yeah. What a great job, Baker. I was bored without something to watch. I was only thinking about you, Side-Eye. You know, what would Side-Eye do? And I said, no, I can't get drunk and dance naked because I'm not in Florida. So I made a stream instead. Perkins' platform is domestic violence, which is fine, but you have to deal with corruption first and hold system cops, etc. accountable. What if Perkins wants to try a DV case and police are corrupt? Come on. Again, nothing specific was mentioned. I read the entire bloop reel. Maybe I've hit one of, but you will go to the first page of a politician's website. Tell me the goods. Her was, I used to work as a DA and I'm really good and I've done 20 years. Okay. Tell me the goods. If you are running on a DV, why the hell haven't you mentioned Sandra Birdsmore? Why don't you mention Sandra Birdsmore if DV is your ticket? Farwell is still innocent in the Norfolk County DA's office. In the eyes of the Norfolk County DA's office. That's the words I tried to say. If you are there on a ticket of protecting children and DV victims, who better to talk about than Sandra Birdsmore and the kid that never was. That's why I say she's probably a lovely lady, but she's boilerplate politician. She has no depth to her, and she is just the attack dog that's sent into the race. So faceless bureaucrat number 10 can swing in and say, oh, but did you know I was the guy who got Brian Walsh? Yeah, that was a fucking hard crime to get a conviction in. You just gave them the Google searches that Proctor fizzled a little bit with. You gave them the DNA. You gave them the surveillance that showed that he had dropped stuff out in a dumpster. Yeah, that was really a really hard case to. How could you ever get a conviction in that case? It's the case of the century. I know a lot of people were like, well, Proctor went too far. He was going to get, no matter what, he was going to get convicted because of the DNA in the basement. Especially when he said, yeah, I mishandled it. She was dead in the bed after I tried to make her a cup of coffee. Are you an idiot? At least the guy I'm watching right now who welded his wife inside of a fertilizer tank said, I didn't do it. He didn't say, well, I found the body and then I thought, I'll better chuck it in a fertilizer tank to get rid of the body. Hussey G, with only his right welcome on because I gave the left away, could have won that case. And he could have done it on time. Oh. Same time as Paris, France, right? Me? Yes, I'm on the same time. Going out there and sell yourself as, hey, I'm the guy who got Brian Walsh convicted. I have to do a DJ. Oh my God. That's like saying, I got a kid to beg for toys and candy. Really hard. Scotty McGinnis said none of the shit happened in court with Karen. Christie lives in a fantasy. Are you talking about Krusty yelling murderer at Karen Reed, who famously has been proven in court not to be a murderer? How is that not witness intimidation? Well, she's not a witness. She actually is, because it's anyone who can potentially witness in a case. Aiden is also a witness because he can potentially witness against in his own case. So he should have the same protections like Jen fucking McCabe. By the way, those horrendous attacks on Karina Koliakatis that they have gone to after the last batch of the sidebars came out and Jen didn't look too good. OMG. How these hacks in the hen house. If you don't know, it's the lovely ladies in from the Foreskins, the copyright strike crew. You have Big Red. You have Ginny Jam. You have Mama Llama, who I think and this is now I know a lot of people will call me misogynist, who I think is probably the biggest cunt on the planet because oh my fucking god, that woman spends way too much time hating other people. Then you have Tuesday. I'm still hoping that Tuesday and Jay Brill will have a kid together because that will be the first living organism, complex organism, because there are amoebas who doesn't have that, who will never have a thought in their life because those two people couldn't finish a thought even if they helped each other. So imagine them two having a kid together. And then they have that weird lady who's in front of a store that I never remember. She's just annoying. You have to do something weird with your mouth when you clap to be like a DJ. Well, I got the seal clap down. Oof, like court verdicts are real if Krusty Panties and Friends doesn't like their peers. Yeah, I did. I'm probably going to redo that show because I took it off the internet. But I had a few clips of these women as not really liking Miss Koliakikis and calling her all the worst names in the book because you're not allowed to have any. I just have 25 called Jen is a victim. I'll just put my ears in. Sadly, and I know if Loophole Lawyer is watching and the rest of the male audience, there will be no Tuesday on this clip because it was an impromptu. We have to react to this because the shit is really hitting Jen right now, so we have to go out and run interference. So they told Tuesday, can you be here in 2 hours? And she still hasn't understood the concept of be here 2 hours. So she will probably be back in the next show. But I have to say, maybe it's because the view numbers have gone down, but Tuesday was very, very open on the previous show. Now I have to figure out, again, I'm on a different program. No, that's not what I want. Share screen. And then I need to share audio. And this screen share.
Kind of basically makes, as usual, Jen McCabe out to be Hannibal Lecter, coming up to Katrina, with her finger pointed, screaming, you sitting up there with them, and you need to pick a side. What side are you on? I want to know, what side are you on? And poor Karina's like, I'm not on any side. And Karina was so embarrassed, and she's never been screamed at like that before. And she's so embarrassed. And then she goes over to Eva, and Eva says, what's going on? Or Karina says to Eva, what's going on? And Eva says, your husband is friends with Tom Beatty. And, Jen is, upset about that, which is probably the only part of this fantastical fiction that's true.
Because she's a liar. She said something bad about old Jenny.
It was myself, Jennifer McCabe, and Karen.
Did anything unusual occur when you were?
I don't know who the picture in the middle was. I don't know if you noticed the thumbnail before. They don't look the same.
With me, why did that?
Oh, like what? Like where?
Sorry.
Went over to Karen, kind of put her arm around her, and she starts saying, "You're coming with me. You're coming with me." And Karen's like, "Huh? Like what? Like where are we going?" And
I'm going to sustain the objection.
The first part of that answer, the putting her arm around her, you're coming with me. Why did that stand out?
And notice, Mama Llama drama. She has this tell every time she's going to shit on a person. She can't control herself. I don't know if you all... Did I delete that clip? I think I deleted that clip. Yeah. I think... Did I? No, I don't have the clip about Karen's dildo anymore. No, I deleted the Karen's dildo clip. But when they had that weirdo on who lost that debate to Brother Counsel the other day, she has this tell, because this is set up. The story about Karen's dildo wasn't something he just, oh, by the way, I better say this now because, oh, I just remembered it. No, it was set up. And she will start smirking. Because she's now going to turn into an evil bitch. Oh, Baker, you can't say that. That's misogynistic. No, I'm not addressing every woman. This is the thing, like we said the other day, you have to learn. If I call you a fucking retard, I'm not talking at every neurodivergent person in the world. I'm talking about you, who is a fucking retard, which means you have sub 70 IQ, in my opinion. Well, that's defamatory. No, because I believe it's true. You can then prove it's not true by showing me an IQ test. If I call you a bitch, it's because I think you act like a bitch. It's not every woman is a bitch. Could we just get off our cross? Because I saw everyone trying to defend the Hood Booker crew and their Down syndrome, but, oh, Baker says retard. Yes, if you act retarded or if you are an idiot. Well, don't you know some people have autism? Yes. And I didn't talk about them. I talked about it's really retarded to make fun of people with Down syndrome to try and get to me. Which, by that, I mean, those three guys who were sitting there laughing their ass off were stupid. Has nothing to do with, but the word also, no, it doesn't. This word has a specific meaning. And if I say cunt about a person, I can't stand this word, please. Can we just go back to the 90s where people could understand that, oh, my Fifi's got hurt. Why? I wasn't talking to you. Oh. Tuesday is good looking, but she's an idiot. At some point when you get to be me or Cossie's esteemed ages, you will find out that looks are not everything. It might put some lead in the pencil, but that'll last 13 seconds. By the way, a Danish guy came second in speed skating today. And you tell me Fast Guys doesn't get anything for it? He got silver. Retard means slow, an actual term. People need to quit with the virtue terminology. That's if you use it in French, it's retard, which means slow. When Baker drops 2 hard C's on V Saturday. Oh my. Very close match for goal. Not that close. Oh, are you watching curling now or something? I didn't know what the curling ended up with. But, yeah. Tuesday, she might be pretty, but imagine there's still 23 hours and 47 seconds in a day. So, like, I was like, yesterday, but it's like talking to a 4-year-old telling you a story. It's, again, I feel sorry for her sometimes because she might have something to say, but most of the time she doesn't know what she's trying to say. That's the funny part about her, because that makes her a little jokerish. That's my opinion, and I know that's misogynistic, but hey, who hasn't called me a misogynist before? But I do hate all women's and men's. That's not what it's called. Well, I'm not a big fan of it either.
And shred.
So remember too, is Dr. Welcher did the height test, and the height of the boiler on the back of the SUV was right where that wound was too. So,
which is something a lot of people on Twitter, including myself, mocked up like early.
A lot of people on Twitter marked up the boiler on the back on the SUV. One in chat, if your car is not old enough to still have a boiler on it. we did have coal-fired and wood-fired cars during the Second World Kerfuffle, but we do have internal combustion engines now. We even have, I don't know if you have this in America, we have something called battery-powered cars. It's a Tesla, I think, is the name of them, and it's just amazing. It's you can get a long way with a Tesla, but you will have to have some electricity as well. I don't know if you know electricity. It was invented by Benjamin Franklin, and he was the guy who made the White House and was the Americans' first president. You celebrated him on Monday, on President's Day. Sadly, a lot of people out there has fallen for the lie that Benjamin Franklin wasn't a president, but he was, and sadly, the second president, George Washington, stole all the accolades. But that's why the White House was the first house in America that had electricity. It's because Benjamin Franklin built it and he invented electricity.
Let's just say I'm speaking right now to 5 different attorneys, and every single one of them are from different states. Okay, and every single one of them said that they're fucking embarrassed for what happened. Like, Beto should feel embarrassed and also negligent. Like, you didn't file a motion, dude. Like, come on. Like, that's embarrassing as fuck. Number one. Number two is arguments were nowhere near legal arguments. Like, all of it's like innuendo, speculation, and things that are completely irrelevant to the case itself.
I speak to no lawyers, sadly. It's Saturday night. It's 9:40. I'm going to go to bed, y'all, because that's how all of us... Mr. Kosiji, if you were out with her that night, you know how many people hit on her. So I'm going to go to bed. Thank you all so much for turning in. And again, boots on the ground for Adam Deitch. Let the competition try and help Djuna Perkins with this smear campaign, because it's nothing more. And that's, yeah. And on your way out, remember to sign the guest book and say hi to your mom for me.
I like turtles.